has ever told me that he almost made me not Christian was like, he goes, you know, the closer you get to Christ, Satan attacks you even more.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to curse every day just so Satan knows that I'm like, you know, I'm not the one.
Oh, man.
I mean, like, I would debate it every day. Just be like, oh, yeah, get me now, Satan. I'm a sinner, dude. You don't want to talk to me. Like, I was like, that's the worst thing you could tell a kid. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Genius Brain Podcast. We have Ed Park, VP, here. If you noticed in the last 3 episodes, I have the same clothes on. It's because I have a child now, and it's milk-stained all the time. So it doesn't fucking matter. My whole shirt is just covered in milk and spit.
Nice.
But a lot of things happening. We have Katy Perry launched in space. Dude.
And Gail came too. There was like one actual scientist among them.
You know,
that's another thing. I don't want to take away. Yes, I am taking away from it. They didn't even go to space. They were still within the atmosphere. They were just outside of this, I forget, layer that allows them to experience 0G for a few minutes, right? It was a 7-minute trip.
When I saw this article, the first thing I thought was, who the fuck cares?
Right. Why was it
What did you do? You did nothing.
And there are dozens and dozens of women that have been to space. Astronauts. Many, many, many women have been to space, and we don't know any of them.
Do you not remember the one that was stuck in space for a fucking year?
Yeah.
What about her?
Yeah.
Huh? You just forgot about her like that? Crazy.
She was actually up there.
Yeah.
Like doing
for
shit
a year.
Yeah.
Stranded. An actual astronaut. Like, get the fuck out of here.
And you experienced 0G for 7 minutes. You know, you could just they do these 0G trips. You've seen it before, right?
Yeah.
Where you're just in a regular airplane, but they strip it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just this big wide open space. And then you just nosedive.
Yeah.
And because of, like you said, gravity and relativity, you start to experience free fall, right? If they wanted that, why didn't they just do that, right? And you figure out why. It's because it's Jeff Bezos jerking off for his wife.
Yeah.
Because his wife went up too. It's like, you're not special.
Yeah.
You broke up a family.
Why do you get to go?
Yeah, why did you go
to the atmosphere, dude? Yeah. Was Katy Perry the one that kissed the ground?
Yeah.
Dude.
Her and somebody else.
That is
just like gross.
But this is what I really think. Once you're that famous and rich, everything you do sparkles.
Yeah.
There's no homie like in her circle being like, why the fuck did you kiss the ground? You look so corny and stupid.
Like you weren't suffering up there like Sandra Bullock.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't we celebrate her, dude?
Yeah. Like, I think you did as much as she did.
Yeah. Like, just like the fucking delusion of this whole spectacle, right? Watching Katy Perry kiss the floor, too, it's like, come on. What are you talking about? You act as if you were stranded in there.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, thank God I'm back on. People do that in movies, Katy Perry. Like people who are lost at sea, who thought that they were going to fucking die.
Yeah, like the Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
Remember? when he became Zatara?
Yeah.
I fucking love that movie.
And then they see these things. This is what I'm saying. Just try to get inside my head right now, even though I'm a little high. This is an adult person that saw behavior like this on a TV screen. They think that it's normal. They know a camera's there and they're being performative.
Yeah.
Because if the cameras weren't there, it was just her. Let's say she was the only one that went up. Gail, her friends, nobody's watching this. Do you think she's going to drop on her knees and kiss the fucking floor? I guarantee you she'd just come up like, whoa, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Right? And she would have sang off key and walked off screen. And that's about it. Other than that, she's not. What the fuck is this? It's weird.
Yeah, it's PR for who, right?
Yeah.
Because it's such a personal project for Jeff Bezos. So much so that when they came down, right, the door started to open and some girl ran up and like had to shut the door because The whole point was to capture Jeff Bezos walking up and opening the door for them.
And I feel like Katy Perry too. She's just like, why am I getting bullied? Because now that this happened, they're just bringing up all these like clips of her dancing, like they're doing, like they did to Taylor Swift, and they're so fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like I almost feel bad for her now. I don't have anything against Katy Perry. It was just like,
well, she's known to make bad judgment calls, like she married fucking Russell Brand.
yeah,
and he's. Oh, did you see how he converted and like got baptized?
oh yeah, I heard he's like hardcore Christian now.
Because he's being also sued for
Oh, is he?
rape. Yeah.
Everybody, dude.
Everybody.
This is crazy. Like this is so fucking nuts, man. Is that just a thing to do now?
Like we're not even trying to, make an episode about all these people's lawsuits. But it's just that's what's literally what's happening.
Speaking of, so I saw this thing. I'm not sure how long ago it happened, but I think it happened this year, like last month. Speaking of like false accusatory situations, there was a lady who got an older Indian gentleman arrested for trying to kidnap their kid, right, at a Walmart, right? And it's like a 8-year-old Indian man. And, when you kind of look at that, it's like, that doesn't make any sense. He's fucking 80, right? And he said that the 8-year-old man ran up and tried to snatch her kid out of her arms.
Yeah.
So he actually got arrested and went to jail. They reviewed the footage. None of that happened. She got interviewed by a news station and she's adamant that it fucking happened. She was in, first of all, number one, she's not even paralyzed, but she was in one of those carts, those little, the carts that, where fat people can't walk. The fat people food cart.
Yeah, I don't even know what those are called.
I don't know what they're called either, but I call them the fat scooters.
Yeah, the scooters.
Yeah,
fat scooters.
Yeah, so the fat scooters.
Old people's scooters.
Yeah.
That's what they were made for.
Yeah. She's on there just riding around with their kid in it, which is already a fucked up thing to do, you stupid bitch.
Yeah.
So when you look at the footage cam that in Walmart, the Indian man is asking her where he can find this type of Tylenol because his wife is like going through like some type of sickness or thing. She needs like medication,
right,
like a super strong Tylenol. So he was asking her where he could find this. He comes over, she shows him, he goes to get the Tylenol, comes back, goes up to her, he goes, I found it, and then walks away. And she went out of the way to call the cops to get him arrested for trying to kidnap her kid.
But why?
But it's weird too because even after the footage came out, right? Well, clearly he's just, thank you for showing me the title. She's adamant that it fucking happened.
Oh my God. That's insane.
It's she could have fucked this guy's, he's 80 years old.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying, man. Like, I don't trust nobody anymore at all. Even like when my brother used to date this girl, a fucking psychopath, right? The first thing I told that fool to do when she was, acting up was like, you need to record all your conversations, right? You got to record everything, have it in your pocket, whatever. It doesn't matter. Let's say it's like it's not permissible by court for you to have
it's because she's telling some crazy lies.
I was like, just have it recorded. Record fucking everything. There was a person that even my personal friends know that there's a guy I didn't really trust. Because he's like one of those type of dudes that would say something in front of you, but he'll talk shit about you to somebody else behind their back. So whenever he would say something, I would always record it, right? Because he would always have this issue of like going back on his words, and then I would look like I'm like suddenly I'm crazy, like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So I started recording everything, right? Just having my phone in my pocket. And I could record it because it got so bad to a point. Damn, I forgot this. But it got so bad to a point where he was like causing beef between friends in the group. But the reason why was because he has this habit of just agreeing to what everybody says just because he wants that individual to like them. So if you, for example, were venting to me about somebody, let's say to, I don't know, some guy Samuel, and I'd be like, yeah, fuck Samuel. He's a piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. Then Sam would complain about him to you, and he goes, yeah, Ed's a fucking little bitch too, blah, blah, blah. And then he would like add on to stories of stuff that didn't happen. Like, oh yeah, he was saying like fucking crazy shit about you.
Why? Because he's like, only you can be my friend.
I don't know. But he would do stuff like that. And I noticed that there are people who bond with other human beings through negativity only.
Yeah.
They only bond through like a mutual hate. So it's like they're either the ones that gossip a lot, or they spread lies because they become the source of information and everybody goes to them. So it's like a false sense of like, I'm the leader.
Right.
And there's a lot of people who fucking do that. And he was my first experience of that shit.
Right.
And after that, I kind of got wise to this like type of behavior when they're like, oh, what do you think about this person? And they start talking shit. I'm like, I'm good. I'm not a part of this conversation because it's weird. Like, I don't know you. You know what I mean? But all that stuff would happen too, like in terms of like weird behavior, especially at church. Like that whole back talk, like shit talking thing happens so fucking often. It was like one of the most like harder things about being a part of a Korean church. Because even now, like I'm looking for a new church and like I'm so apprehensive about any Korean church because of like the gossip culture in it. Because I don't want to be a part of that stuff. It's just annoying. I wonder if there's a church I could just like walk in and then just disappear. I don't think that it'll ever be like that in a Korean church either.
Right.
Because like Korean churches too, like once you walk in, they want to know, oh, who's your parents?
Oh, yeah.
Where are you from? It was almost like they're sizing you up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what class are you in?
That's why everyone asked me who my parents were.
Yeah.
But here's the funny thing.
누구니?
You want to hear something hilarious?
What?
My dad and the senior pastor shared the same name.
Oh, really?
Park Sung-yu.
That's...
And when they say that, they go, what? Right? I'm like, yeah. And just leave me alone. And so I told my mom that, and she was dying laughing. Like, they must think this is going to be so hilarious. Right? To the point where the senior pastor had to actually call my dad out when he actually showed up to church. And he was like, hey, everyone, this particular newcomer, his name is Sung-yu or whatever, to finally get people to be like, hey, these are two different people.
The power that a Korean pastor has on a church is kind of crazy, man. Like the way like the Samonim all talk to them.
Yeah.
Oh, 목사님 안녕하세요. Like super sweet and nice.
It's weird how much Korean people, like boomers, worship the pastor.
Yeah.
Right. And I actually wanted to talk about this for a bit. Was the people in the comments in that one podcast where I'm talking about, the stuff in my brain.
Yeah.
And they're like, a few of them were saying that I need to talk to a shaman. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I saw Squid Game season 2 finally. And I'm like, you motherfuckers think I'm this lady? This crazy lady here?
Start burning a fire and start fucking spinning around and dancing in circles and shit.
Like, I don't think it's that,
I've never had any of those powers, dude. One of the worst thing that a pastor has ever told me that he almost made me not Christian was like, he goes, the closer you get to Christ, Satan attacks you even more.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to curse every day just so Satan knows that I'm like, I'm not the one.
Oh, man.
I mean, like, I would masturbate it every day. Just be like, oh, yeah, get me now, Satan. I'm a sinner, dude. You don't want to talk to me. Like, I was like, that's the worst thing you could tell a kid.
Yeah.
Because Satan's going to visit you because he knows that you're close with Christ. I'm like, well, let me back up from Christ just a little bit then. So let me just be like, be like right in the middle, dude. Are you fucking insane? Why would you say that to me?
You know what actually really helped me? Going through, this is one of the things with DTS, what it taught me was how to not be afraid of demons.
Really?
Yeah. Because they have stories for days about demon possession and how to deal with it. In fact, we have a whole week. It's called Spiritual Warfare. It's where we have a special guest speaker of the week, and then they literally, because they're in the thick of it, and they have stories too, and how they stand up against like demons and shit. But it was basically us having to stand up and be like, Satan's just a fag.
Who the fuck?
That's it. He's just a fucking bitch ass.
No, everybody go pray.
Yeah, it's like it was that attitude. Like, why are you so scared of him? Does he really want to? So all these other things, like we made a horror film together, right?
Yeah.
What do we have to do? We have to face our fears and watch fucking horror movies.
Worst experience of my life.
But then when we learned how to do it, and then we were making it, it took that away from me. you know? I mean, I still get scared, no doubt.
Of course.
Yeah, I still get scared. But like in that thrill way, but deep in my heart kind of way with demons now or whatever. Because people always talk to me like, I know I don't go to church that much, you know, but, you know, I believe like there are demons. you know, someone
Go to DTS. They're
more
like,
than one person has told me that out here, you know? Like there are people out there going for you.
spiritual warfare training is such a dramatic way of like titling something, dude.
Yeah.
And I know like Koreans used to always say, this is a spiritual warfare, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, relax with that shit, dude.
Just call it you versus Satan.
Yeah, dude.
He's just a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, even the way the book of Revelations describes him is like, he's going to be this shriveled up, like Voldemort. Remember at the end, he ended up being like this, you know, it's like, oh, so pathetic.
Yeah.
It's literally how they describe him. They were going to drag him out, and they're like, that's him?
Yeah.
That's the guy that made me so scared?
Yeah.
And that pisses you off to be mad at him.
Hey, everybody, today we're going to learn a spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
Just rule number 1. Satan is a big old paggot.
Yeah.
He's a bitch-ass paggot, and he can suck my dick right now. You know that?
But yeah, like, look, I have this innate fear of the dark when I'm out there. And so when you go to church retreat, right? Yeah. What's the worst part? At night, no lights.
No lights.
And you're in the woods.
Yeah.
Right? And you're just scared as shit because somebody was praying in tongues at the revival night. You know, we all experienced this. And then you're so fucking scared going back to your goddamn cabin. Yeah. You know? And then, like, that's literally... So one night... the last night, right? Yeah. I stayed up with, like, the senior kids or whatever. And I actually fell asleep because they're just talking way late into the night. Uh-huh. And then all of a sudden, they shake me. I'm like, oh, what? And like, Edward teacher, I really have to go pee. And I'm like, and? Yeah. He's like, can you watch me watch out for demons? Right? And I said, you fucking faggot. I was like, why are you so fucking scared of that, bitch? You know? Like, because I just got mad at Satan, you know, for bothering
my sleep. Yeah. That's how Satan attacked you.
That's the attitude you have to give, like, bitch, leave me alone, you know? So I'm like, go fucking pee, like, watch. And I got out of bed. I went, and they're like, no, not in the bathroom. And I closed the door behind me, and I took a piss.
Yes.
Just to fucking, you know, whatever. And then I turned the light off on myself, and you could hear them, oh, they're all fucking scared.
That's so fucking funny, dude.
But I'm just not scared because I understand, like, Satan, when if he's trying to scare you, that's him trying to dominate you, and you should not be okay with that. Like, fuck you.
Dude, I want to go back to being a pastor again so I could say this, use this in a sermon, dude.
That's the secret.
Yeah.
That's the fucking secret.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Hey, how do you feel about it now? Yeah. Like, I'm telling you, I don't think you'll ever be afraid of the dark now. If you're like Cowie shit.
Just like title this video, How to Beat Satan.
Yeah.
Hey, Satan, heard you're a bitch. Satan's like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
And we're talking to the dude says you're a bitch. You're a gay.
But that's going back to why I'm talking about all this is because that pastor who told you that, yes, a bit of truth to that, you know, that if you're out there, then somebody is going to want to take that away from you, you know?
Yeah.
And you have to protect yourself from that. And then after you learn how to not be afraid first, it's like, then I feel I can do anything. I can go to Iraq. You know, I can go to this place, that place. It didn't matter where I went from then on. Because now it was like, oh, then I'm not afraid to go to this country.
Oh, wow.
That's why I'm not afraid to go here anymore. That's why, like, I'm willing to face, like, the judgment that they're going to give me. But then, once again, I'm not there doing body worship. Like, the whole point was to, like, make relationships, like, change people's lives. Like, if I'm there for 2 weeks, like, make a difference every single fucking day.
Yeah.
Like for somebody, just believe in them.
That's so powerful, but it's like I was never at that point, man. I was always like, God got me, but it's like, do you know sometime, man? Like,
That's the that's the that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's like we have this false sense of confidence, living my life to the fullest, in Jesus' name, whatever, and all that. But then that's what I would do. Is like I would challenge people, like, hey, you want to do something Christ-like? Let's go by those homeless people and wash their feet. And they're like, Edward teacher, you're crazy.
Yeah.
That's not sanitary. I'm like, that's the point.
That's the point, dude.
Like, let's do it. And
Yeah.
no, nobody wants to do it. Hey, let's go to Costco. Let's get like bottles of water for them and let's hand them out. They're like, oh, I have lunch
Of
with my
course.
mom.
Of course.
I have basketball practice.
Yeah.
Because there was a basketball tournament
Yeah,
happening.
yeah.
It's like, I get it. It's cool,
Dude, my favorite part about like evangelism too was like when you would see the performative like praying over people and they would just like react. Because like for me as a kid, I'm like, damn, there's like powers. Maybe one day I can do that where I just like Hadouken a fucking demon out of somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just Kamehameha demons out of them. Yeah. And it never happened for me.
Yeah.
And then I just recently on Instagram, did you see that guy, that Asian guy who's asking to pray over his autistic child?
No.
It's in Australia, and it's this Asian dude that walks up, right? And he's like, sir, my kid, he has severe autism, right? And it's a generational curse. And I would like, and then the pastor is like, I'll break this generational curse from your family. And he just goes, dude, I don't think the dad knows that he too has autism.
Yeah.
Because this fool starts going like this.
Is there anything you wanted to renounce?
I want to renounce a generational curse. My child is autistic, and he has no brains at all. Like, we've tried everything, and I've gone through deliverance before, and it's just so hard to break this curse.
God is breaking this generational curse right now. Thank you, Jesus. His power is here right now. It is time now for your deliverance and your family's deliverance. I break every generational curse off of you, off of this whole family. And I detach this family and you from what you spoke. I declare every spirit attached.
I was like, are you turning Super Saiyan full? Oh. You're fucking autistic. That's why your kid's autistic, you fucking weirdo.
Andrew Yang's like, I have two boys, one of whom is autistic. Wonder where you got that from.
Yeah. I was like, dude, you're fucking autistic and you're worried about your kid, this generational curse. Fucking get out of here, dude, sir. Fucking weirdo. But you would always, dude, there's this video of this little girl who can't walk.
Oh, no.
And you could tell the girl is looking for the cue to walk, right? Like almost waiting for it. And she just stands up, no emotion. Everybody's cheering. She's just like, am I going to get my candy? Is what it looked like.
Oh.
And I'm like, holy shit, dude. How low do you have to be to do that?
Man. Yeah, people.
Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry. This generation of curse is autism.
Autistic.
Why is he called it a generational curse?
I mean, you go through life like, I used to have so many stories of where I would like felt like, am I being shitty to somebody like at church? But then it was more or less, I was going way back to the other point was like, I had no idea you wanted to be my friend. Because someone pulled me aside at a retreat and was just like, I really just thought that you were just going to be my friend. Why can't we be friends? And I just felt so weird. Like, do I owe you that? Or is it the Christ? Are you telling me the Christ-like thing?
Yeah.
Would be to be your friend.
Yeah.
And I think like those are one of the times where I'm super, super challenged when they say, what would Jesus do? And it's like, be his friend, right? And I'm like, And that's where I give up. No, I'm
I
not
can-
Jesus. You know that line you don't cross. Well, like, well, I'm not like Jesus.
I can be nice to a lot of people, right? I'm very nice to a lot of people, but you can't force me to be your friend. Friendship is something that's very hard to come by, and it's hard to make those type of connections. Friend is a heavy word.
Yeah.
So when they're just like, oh yeah, why don't you just make friends with him? He's fucking weird. All right.
Yeah.
And God made him that way.
Yeah.
All right. That's his challenge. All right. Maybe he has to stop being weird. Maybe that's God's quest for you. Then maybe I could be your friend. But you're so fucking weird.
Oh, dude, we had a friend who was just around to be challenged by us, right? Where we were just like, all right, do a backflip then, right? And then he couldn't do it, right? And he would damn near break his neck just trying to do it in front of us,
Wow.
right? And then we're always playing sports, right? And then it got to a point where, because we kept challenging him to do shit, he was a dependable outfielder, because he was that motherfucker who would dive for a fucking ball to grab it out, like jump up the fence and rob a home run type of play.
Oh, wow.
Right? And it's like, this is church softball.
Yeah.
You know? But then we needed to challenge him, right? So we kept coming up with weird jackass shit.
He would just do it?
Then for him to do, and he would just do these stunts, right? And he got fucking good at doing it.
Wow.
Right? Like running up walls and doing backflips and shit.
Dude, the strength of autism,
Right?
man.
That's what I'm saying. And all of a sudden,
God's gift.
we're on this Mexico mission trip, and there's like fucking 25 of us. There's a big group that went, and they're all standing in a circle. And from the pastors to the student leadership, the student presidents, and all the youngs and nunas, they were like, what's wrong with you guys? Why do you treat him like this? Huh? And we're like what? Why can't you be his friend? He's like, he is our friend.
Yeah.
It's like, then why do you make him do these crazy, stupid things? And we're like, crazy and stupid. Like, they were awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Like he just did a double backflip.
Yeah, what the fuck are you?
Yeah.
And they're like, you treat him like he's like your dancing monkey or some shit. Why aren't you certain? We're like, dude, hey man, like I love you. You know that, right? And he's like, yeah. And they're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And I don't know what the fuck that shit was about, because we were like, I mean, why do you feel that way? Like, what is a true friendship then?
Yeah.
Like, he said, one of the guys said, why don't you guys be his friend then? It's like, because you don't have any good challenges.
Yo, this kid has got the TISM, dude.
Shout out to my friend. His name's Kwani.
That's so funny.
He was like, wait, why aren't you guys?
It's like go be friends with him. No, they don't give me challenges. They don't challenge me at all.
So all of a sudden, that shit had to stop. You know?
What happened to was like Kwani like super like what the fuck?
Yes. It was like, all right. I guess I don't know what the situation was between them, but it was like they were telling us, you can't, like, that's not friendship. And if you can't do that, you know, without making him do stupid shit, then you're not his friend. And so all of a sudden it was like a really boring time to be hanging out.
Did Kwani take it bad?
I think so, yeah.
It's weird because like sometimes like when people connect to people in different ways, you know what I mean? Like it's like when you have a homie that you make, dude, what the fuck? Who said this shit? Oh, it was, I'll tell you who it is, but basically we were at this event and it's me and Gio and we're, you know, we make fun of each other. We've been friends now for like 12 years, right? And that's just how we talk. We just, you know, rip into each other. And this one fucking random bitch just walks up. She goes, you don't talk to her that way. And I looked at her. I was like, hey, who the fuck are you? I was like, I've known this girl for 12 years. Who are you? She goes, you shouldn't talk to women that way. And I'm like, listen, you have no friends and nobody likes you here. Why are you even here? that she just she got so like red, and I was like, be quiet. And then her boyfriend walks up. He was like, oh, she's just joking. And I was like, hey, get a leash on her and tell her to back the fuck off me, or I'm gonna fucking roast the shit out of her. And she was just like trying to do like the standing up for, and then Gio's like, what the fuck is her deal? I was like, I don't fucking know. It's like, you don't know our 12-year friendship. Like, this is who the fuck are you? Like, it was the most random fucking thing. I'm trying to say some offensive shit to her. You know what I mean? I'm trying to fucking roast her. So at that point, I just kept roasting her and her boyfriend at this event constantly. Because it was just like, no. Like, you tried to turn me into this like fucking asshole, like misogynist, whatever, whatnot, and you don't know, like, this woman's like literally like a sibling to me.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, sometimes when people see a relationship from the outside, because it doesn't fit with their mold of what friendship is, they try to tell you what friendship is. It's like, you don't know what this is.
Right.
Like, how the fuck would you fucking know, dude? Shut the fuck up and go sit in your fucking corner, you dumb weirdo. Maybe you're autistic.
Yeah. It's just, when people stand up for something, it's obviously because it's a behavior they see that they hope nobody would treat them in that way. But it's like, you motherfuckers can't do backflips.
Yeah.
But he can, I think that's the way I took it. This past day, I was just like, because from then, I have no idea. It was one of those things like, what are you accusing me of?
Yeah. So you're taking advantage of him?
Yeah. Like, to this day, there's like challenging people to do a backflip. It's a damn near impossibility.
Church is such a weird place to be in, man. Like, there's so many weird characters that popped up from. Oh, dude. Speaking of, fucking, before we end the pod, like, I was at this place called Chef Tony's Dim Sum, right? Uh-huh. And I walked outside, and I see this guy from the left, and it was somebody I hadn't seen in almost like 15 or 16 years. It was a friend of mine from college.
Yeah.
Dude, I hadn't seen this dude in so long. This fool mentioned a story about me that I didn't fucking remember. But it is congruent to who I was at the time. Right? Very short-tempered. And he was like, we're just like catching up on all these like fun stories. He hears my podcast. And it's like, dude, you know how many times I fucking told stories about stuff that happened in college and people tell me the stories aren't real? I was like, you're going to come on the fucking pod and you're going to corroborate these fucking stories because nobody believes this stupid shit because it's almost like unbelievable.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I do want to get him on this podcast. Like, he was a part of everything, dude. But this motherfucker told me this story. He was like, hey, you remember like the first time I saw you like how violent you were? Because I grew up in a very like nice household. Like, people aren't very confrontational. He's like, we were playing basketball and there was a dude that every time I went for a shot, he was really good at basketball, still is. He would grab me like fucking aggressively. He would like foul him. He was kind of punking him, being very aggressive. He goes, you know what you did? And I was like, no, I don't remember this at all. He goes, dude, you walked up and you fucking choke slammed this fool so hard. And then you walked up to him, you stepped over him and you're like, hey, do that shit to me, bitch. I was like, me? I was like, I don't remember this story at all.
Why?
But he said that was like the first time he saw like somebody physically stand up for him.
Why?
I was like, oh, I don't remember doing this at all. He goes, dude, you scared me.
God damn.
Because I didn't grow up with like violence like that. But I don't remember doing that at all.
There are things that, I brought up to people like, hey, yeah, do you remember this? And then no clue, right? But then, man, I got triggered because this past week, I was in and out taking my mom to the gym, to help her like exercise and shit. But then while she was in the garage, she was like, oh, where's this baby photo of your sister I'm looking for, right? I can't find it anywhere, right? It got wet. Did I throw it away? And because she might have thrown it away, I got like massively triggered about like how she threw all my drawings away.
Yeah.
I used to be a huge like illustrator. Like, I have
that little bump right here.
Yeah, because I'm just like drawing all the time. And then, when she says stuff like, hey, why don't you used to draw, whatever, where's all that? It's like, you threw them away.
Yeah.
And then, but the thing is, I think she was trying to be like, okay, tell me, like, what else that I forget.
Yeah.
You know, because
Grandparents.
I think she shouldn't have stepped into that because I just started telling her the things that she's forgotten,
Yeah.
and then it didn't end up well.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff, and I was like, ugh.
You're like, let's start with this. First birthday, second birthday, third birthday, fourth birthday. It just goes like, parents don't remember the stuff that they do though.
Yeah.
Right. It's almost like you have to like convince them of it. Right. Like my mom is now starting to turn around now because we have the kid.
Yeah.
But like we had a long conversation. Basically what I told her to, just to like boil it down, was just like, I just told her, I think it kind of like struck her kind of hard. And I never, like she apologized, and then she actually cried on the phone a little bit, like teared up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was because she's like so in this mode of like, she's always done what she's wanted, right? But now she knows that I have my own family and I have this kid that I have to watch over. She has to listen to what I have to say, right? And I'm not using my kid over her as power, but basically what I told her was like, listen, you have one job now. I was like, how many years do you think you have left with us, right? I was like, she goes, nah, she's like, I'm still alive. I was like, yeah, but I don't know how long that is. I was like, you could die tomorrow. I could die tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like, your only job now that we had this grandchild, is for you to be a great grandmother. That's it. You just be happy. You don't tell me how to live my life. You don't lecture me. You don't yell at me in front of my kid. You don't do none of that stuff now. All you are is halmoni. You are grandma. You come, you cook whatever you want. You watch the kid. You have fun. You enjoy watching him grow up, and you leave this house happy. That's it.
But does she feel like she's losing you as a son?
I don't think that's the case. She just has her habit of like, I get my way all the time.
Right.
And my dad does that for her too. And basically I told her, I was like, you can talk to Appa that way as much as you want. You're married to him. You can't talk to me like that. Like, I don't accept it. So you have to fix this behavior. I was like, you don't have to do it at your own house. At Appa, you could talk to him however you want. You can't talk to me like that. So fix this behavior. And I was like, I just want you to live the rest of your life, whatever. If God gives you 10 years, if God gives you 20, I'm very, very grateful, right? If you get to live that long. If you get to live until the next 18 years, you get to see him go to college, which is something that probably you wouldn't really get because of your age right now. So all you got to do is be healthy and happy. Don't do any of the other stuff. It's going to ruin our relationship. I think that kind of like struck a chord with her, right? Because I was like, yeah, this is all you got to do. It's not difficult. I think from her, it's like, oh, I think like and I didn't yell. I was just like very serious with her. And I think for her, it was kind of like shocking. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, like I really don't have a lot of time left. Like you got to make use of this time you have, right? Because I don't know if I'm gonna live. Like I posted this thing on my Instagram where one of Mariel's close college friends, like she found out that she has a very severe form of cancer, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, she did everything right,
Yeah.
but she wasn't a lot of the stuff, the life that she's supposed to live, even though she did everything right. And there's a lot of cases like that. For my mom too, it's like, I don't know how much long I have with her, but if it's me fighting with her every day, I don't want any of that shit.
Yeah.
So she just has to like fix this idea of like, if I don't get my way, I get to scream, and nobody fixed that out of her. But then I'm going to be the one, I'm going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
Cause I just don't want my kid to see this shit all the time. Like every day we're arguing and fighting, you know, I don't want to see that. So it's like, ugh, I give up, but she's getting a lot better now.
Yeah, my mom is feeling kind of hurt as of late because, you know, I think Sora having a baby makes her feel more disconnected to Sora now because she has to become a mother over this baby. And I think my mom also feels guilty because she's not there with her right now. She lives in Seattle, you know. And so I think I have to, like, from this past trip, I think my downfall was like, man, I have to stop criticizing her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot
The thing was, like, what she said was, like, why are you always honnaing me?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man. Yeah, that doesn't feel good.
The hard part is too, though, it's like, you know, my mom always feels like this. She goes like, you're always like correcting me. You're always doing this and that. And it's like, and I basically told her this. It's like, cause you've gotten your way your whole life, you know? I'm like, she goes, I can't change. I'm like, you can change.
Yeah.
You absolutely can change. There are things about you I know I can't change, but I will change how you speak to me in front of my child.
All right, you're gonna have to put me on your Korean learning program because, like, I'm going to ChatGPT trying to like, yo, how do I tell my mom this in Korean?
Dude, ChatGPT helps me out a lot too. Like,
Yeah.
there's like certain phrases I don't know how to say,
Yeah.
and I just plug it in. I'm like, okay, that's how you say it, and then I'll be able to explain to her, like, you can't do this, right? This is not good.
Right.
So it's like when I told her too, it was like, because you know my mom's phrases too. She goes, I was like, basically I told her, 엄마 변할 수 있어. 이거 나쁜 행동 다 변할 수 있어. Like, you have these bad habits that you can change.
Yeah.
Right? She goes, 안 변해, 못 변해. 엄마가 나이가 얼마 먹었는데 변해라 그래? It's like, I'm so old right now. How do you expect me to change? And I'm like, I was like, 너 엄마 교회 다니지? Like, do you still go to church? 하나님 믿고 사는 거지? It's like, you believe in God, like you trust in God. I thought God can change everybody. I was like, God can't change you?
Dude, are all Korean parents the same, man? That's like literally my mom right now.
Yeah. It's so crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And then she was like, she kind of laughed. I was like, I'm serious. You said you can't change,
Yeah.
but you believe in God, and you're telling me God can't change this bad habit out of you? This is a bad habit. And she goes, I don't think it's bad. I was like, you motherfucker, dude. Of course, I couldn't help but laugh at that point,
Yeah.
right? But, you know, we're figuring it out. But anyways, guys, that wraps up this episode of the Genius Brain Podcast. You can catch Genius Brain every Sundays at 12 p.m. You can follow Ed at EdParkVP and at Manga Miata. We'll see you all next time. Peace.